Hey guys, so here I've been noticing that many people on Twitter, especially in India, who claim to be awake are simply perpetuating fear by repeating the same damn facts about vaccines, lockdowns, and face masks, arguing with morons who have already made up their mind to inject themselves and their kids no matter what, simply to stay within the established system, arguing even after knowing too well that no facts can change these people's mind anymore. There's no turning back from this point for them, and yet they engage in war of words on Twitter with such people as if it's almost like their ego is getting hurt because the other person is determined to not accept the facts that are right in front of his or her face. Simply because that person is asking for more lockdowns in order to quote unquote flatten the curve, these so called truthers believe engaging in a duel on social media is going to change his mind. It's been 17 long months, and if these people still are unable to differentiate facts from fiction after taking into account that's going all over the world right now, believe me, they never will. Now, talking of ego, these so called awakened people like to point out that the pro COVID vaxxers are unable to accept the facts because their ego isn't letting them, to accept the facts. So actually that's true, but at the same time, what these truthers are trying to do here, they are standing with one foot within the system and the another one outside of it. With all their protest against the government's illegal mandates, whether on social media or out on the streets, they're still somehow rooting for the old establishment ruled by some political party after being elected, if we can really call them elected by the voters, just to repeat the same cycle all over again. They believe it ends with the vaccines. It doesn't. Even if these bastards in the position of authority fail in injecting every one of us, if we are still living within their established system, they will find something else to fuck us over with. If you are really a truther, you can't be within and out of the system at the same time. Either you are all in or all out. There's no two way about it. That's the hard truth. The Hindi word jugaad is a recipe for exactly that. It's a compromise. Fucking hate that word. So, sharing data on your Twitter timelines or calling someone out by retweeting and quoting against them is like having a conversation in an echo chamber. So, just be true to yourself, okay? How far are you really willing to go and evade the jab? Are you willing to pull yourself out of the suffocating system that has its tentacles in financial and every other aspect of your personal life? Suppose the bastards come knocking at your door with the vaccines in their hands to forcibly inject you. Are you willing to knock them out with a baseball bat or slash their faces with knives or any other weapon to make a run for it? And even if you do that, are you willing to live the next few years in a jungle after packing the essentials for your survival and leave the things you possess and everything that's in your life behind in order to save your soul? I know I will because the people I know these days they only care about whether I'm vaccinated or not and why the hell am I not masked up when walking outside. So I don't need to bother about them whether they're in my life or not anymore, even if they're my blood relatives, because sooner or later these same people are gonna drag you down along with them. I don't care even if I get the placebo and even if the vaccine is loaded with some real nectar of life. I simply don't want to be a part of any of this circus. So the need to discuss the efficacy of these vaccines doesn't even arise in my opinion in the first place. Whatever I said so far, I decided to let these views out in the open after watching a movie starring Pierce Brosnan. The name of the movie is Taffin. Brosnan's character name was Taffin. After everything he did and everything he went through to save a sports ground of the small town where he grew up and lived his whole life, In the end, the people of that town turned their backs on him and treated him like some stranger they never knew. So finally, he left the town and the people he knew behind him and flew away somewhere far along with his girlfriend. So this made me think of my relatives, the people I'm living with in this society, and my so called friends. Are these people really worth fighting for, who don't even think twice before injecting their kids or sending them to schools with the masks on for hours? People who keep suggesting my mom to get the jab without even getting a thought, giving a thought what they're talking about really, even after all that I've shared and still keep sharing with them, so that the next generation can see the glorious light of a new world. Well, fuck them. Fuck my brother, fuck my uncles, and fuck my cousins. Let them fend for themselves. There's only so much a person can do. Just because you're connected by blood to someone doesn't necessarily mean you are bound to stay in touch till your dying breath, right? So some relationships are meant to be dropped like a burden on your shoulders, and hopefully they'll finally realize the truth. But I'm afraid it's gonna be too late by then. Well, I'm out. In a way, it is such a relief. Now I can focus on conserving my energy and make strategies for what's coming in case I need to leave the rest of my life without getting myself tangled in this system anymore in order to save my soul. I suggest you all do the same in order to build a new structure. The old one will crumble only if those who respect their individual sovereignty will take measures to safeguard it. There's no other way around. Think about it.